Welcome to Lakeshow Podcast, presented by Jack in the Box. It's a weekly deep dive into the biggest stories and topics surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm Allie Clifton, joined by my Spectrum SportsNet co-host, Chris McGee. What's so funny? And our Laker insider, Mike Bresnahan.
We're just laughing. We're just having fun out here.
Did you know the average length a podcast lasts?
25 minutes, 24 minutes.
7 episodes.
What are we at?
More than
123.
7. Look at us go. We're at 23 episodes?
123.
123. Are you
really?
serious?
Probably. It's been
No,
a couple years,
actually,
right?
No shot.
It's a good number.
No shot. We haven't even
Do we get
reached-
like a blanket if we hit 200 or
We're
like
over.
a pen?
We're over 100.
Yeah.
We're at 128.
Go listen to them all.
That's a lot.
Are we
All at
really?
once.
128.
Who said that?
Dave Ramazano.
Wow.
Geet, you were close.
Damn, that's impressive.
Geet, you were always good at like you see a big jar of jelly beans at
Uh-huh.
like a fair. You were always the guy who could pick how many jelly beans.
Ooh,
were in
that's
the jar.
tough too.
Yeah. That was you though as a kid.
Try to like
So,
look and go 72.
taking like little sample sizes. Sorry.
So we're on
How we
season. What does that mean? We're on season.
What is it, season 3?
Season 3.
We don't have
No,
season.
I mean if
we
you're
do
going
it
7
year-
episodes a season, we're really moving.
We're really moving. Season 4?
Yeah, we're like Suits.
Suits is like 9
Yeah, I
seasons.
saw that.
It went forever.
What are we talking about, Allie?
We're going to talk about Lakers basketball.
Gotcha.
Unless you guys have something
Makes
else you
sense.
want to discuss, because people continue to say they like the start of our podcast when we actually don't. Fantasy football. How about those Browns, Brett? Is Brett
He's not
here
even
today?
here. He's with news today.
Tried to tell Brett his team was better than he was. He was
Raider.
really sandbagging Brez early in the year.
I
He's like,
know.
who's gonna finish last between our two teams? I'm like, come on,
That's how you feel when
That
you're a
defense
Browns
is good.
fan, though.
defense is very good.
Yeah.
We've gotten our hopes up so many
They're
times
winning
over
with
the
PJ
years.
Walker.
Yeah, it's like that guy. How? What? That was weird.
Niners.
How's your fantasy football league?
Kyle Shanahan's not the genius we all thought he was when he's going against a what's his name's defense. He's like 1-9. I'm gonna say we're okay. A lot of injuries this year, Allie.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's not good.
It's okay. There's been some good
For
weeks,
all
some
the
bad
leagues?
weeks. No, just
That you're
battling.
in?
We're just battling in all of them.
Oh, okay.
Just trying to keep my head above the water. Trying to battle, pick up some. You pick up a guy, you spend all your money on a guy, and then he gets hurt. Football's a tough sport.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Allie, the draft is it can really devastate you. You think you have a good team,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden
Jim Schwartz. That's what I was thinking of. Thank you, George.
it's
It's
Jim
killing me.
Schwartz.
It's 1-11 for
coordinator.
Schwartz defense.
I'm in 3. I'm annihilating people in my LA Times one. I'm doing okay here in the Spectrum one with Geet. And
Brez has
a
a
few
good
other
team in that
people.
one.
And then in my Wisconsin one, I'd be crushing people, but I had Nick Chubb in the first round. He was out in week 2. So that's that one. I'm just kind of struggling in that one.
Yeah.
You cannot account for injuries. Think about that, Geet. Cleveland had a backup quarterback and a backup running back,
Yeah.
and they still beat the Niners.
It always makes me laugh when someone says, "Oh, you're fake football team," or "You're fake this," and they want to heckle it, and you're like,
hate that.
"No, I've actually spending real money. It's not fake money
Yeah,
involved.
it's not free.
So it's not a free league. So
Yeah.
it's very emotional.
Yeah.
It's just amazing that we are betting on something we have nothing to do with.
Right.
That's the beauty of it.
You guys know Anthony, right? Parker's boyfriend.
Yep.
Played football at Notre Dame. Had never really done fantasy football until a couple years ago. And his dad played for the Rams for like 10 years. So I think his dad got him into a league or some of his Notre Dame buddies. And I kept saying, what are you playing for? He said, no, I think it's free. I said, free? That's the dumbest thing ever. I said, what are you doing? And he was like, texting me for advice.
Yeah.
Who should I drop?
Who
should I pick
cares?
up?
It's free.
Yeah, it's free. Stop bothering me.
Yeah.
And then he comes to me, like playoffs are about to start. His team wasn't very good. Like 6 out of 10 teams made it in. He was the 6th seed. He said, oh, it's not free. And his team was not that great. If you're 6 out of 10, you're kind of barely hanging on. $1,000 entry. And they told him right before the playoffs started.
Oh,
Yeah. And he lost in the first round.
wow. That's
He had to pay $1,000?
Yeah. Something crazy like that.
That's a big number.
Yeah. So always, Allie, if you're going to enter the realm of fantasy
You
sports,
guys know what I could get for $1,000?
I know. That's what I mean. There's a
Yeah.
lot of money
Yeah.
out there. This
Yeah.
is
Red
not,
bottoms, thank you.
that's just the
Justin,
ante.
this is not
Red bottoms and a
It's not fun and
freaking
games,
satchel.
man. He's here when he sees me what I go through on Sundays. All these guys do. It's a very emotional time for a lot of us.
You could pay for 6 months of Soho
If
yoga.
it's $50 or $25, it's still going to get your blood going.
Yes.
If you're a competitive person, you're going to care. It's hard. It is the worst.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave.
So-
It's the worst.
I could get my hair done 3 times.
I know.
Well, think about
Well,
this.
no, it costs what? No, more.
Fair,
No.
fair,
Yeah,
fair.
yeah. With tip, no, you maybe twice.
And think about this. That's $1,000 to enter, Allie. There's usually 10
Get an
teams.
Aviator Nation winter jacket.
Yeah.
Allie's out.
See,
Allie's
now you're understanding this.
You're going to
This
enter
is-
20
same
leagues
thing.
next year. Try
It's
to
the
win them
same
all.
thing.
I would never in a million years play fantasy football for this.
She's one of those people, Geek. She
Well, you
thinks
know, I'm
we're
surprised
nerdy.
you don't try fantasy basketball.
Every day,
Have you done a draft, Brez, for basketball?
It's coming up this weekend.
Okay,
my first
see, that's
one.
exciting.
Yeah. Do you want to be my co-partner?
What Laker would be the
No.
best fantasy player this season, you think?
It's either AD or LeBron. They're both kind of going 10 to 15
Gotcha.
in that realm. Probably AD because he gives
I
you
would
the
think AD
defensive
because the
stats.
blocks and the steals
Yeah,
and the.
yeah. I mean, he's top 2 or 3 in defensive
what about
stats.
Austin? He
Austin's
plays
interesting.
and
Yeah, he's on the way up. He wasn't even drafted last year, obviously. I picked him up about midway through the year. It worked out pretty well for me, but I was already too far behind. This year, he's like 6th round, 7th round, which is pretty good, right around 65 to 75, I think I saw.
Okay.
He's played so well in the preseason. I mean, that number, it's got to keep going up where he's going to get drafted.
that is like 3 car payments. 1,000.
I don't know
know.
if basketball's that much. Are your leagues expensive basketball? Or you spend more on
250,
football.
Beside myself.
Something like that.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's a good
in the ding league. Allie, here's what we have to understand. So in that football league, you pay $1,000 to get in. There's 10 teams. So if you win it, you're going to win close to 10 grand.
Yeah, but the odds that you're going to win it.
I've seen your car. That's 1 car payment.
The 10 grand.
We are moving on.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Just
Still. Back in Ohio, that's 3 car payments.
See the weather in Ohio this past weekend? You see any football?
Yeah,
cold.
it's fall.
Yeah. It's fall there, huh?
Yeah, it's fall.
It really turns. It just. all
Here
of a
I need to
sudden-
buy swimsuits as if it's summer again.
Yeah, it's been weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
Mid-October was like
Okay.
85 today.
Speaking of Anthony Davis, that's where we begin our show.
Oh, good.
Biggest headline came from Darvin Ham's post-game sound on AD after last night's preseason game against the Bucks. Take a listen.
I see a level of focus that's infectious. He's been phenomenal. Obviously, some of the games he put together during last year, some of the stretches he had, just all around, just unbelievable. He's the heart and soul of our team. No one likes to get eliminated, let alone swept. So us losing together in that manner really lit a fire under all of our guys, the ones that returned and even the new guys that we added coming in. They understand what's at stake, and he's at the forefront of it. He wants that responsibility of being the guy that sets the tone on both sides of the ball, and so he had a renewed focus all over the summertime. Just anytime I engaged him, and as we started getting closer to August, September, now October training camp, he's just been building and stacking days, man, getting better and better with his body, with his game, working feverishly to make sure, again, that he's not just available, but available at a high level, and he's able to carry a heavy load. And so the preseason is no surprise to me that he's been playing like this.
Braun called him the face of the franchise. Darvin's saying Anthony Davis is the heart and soul of the team. He also said, don't read into the 6-3 attempts. 6 3-ball attempts.
People really went nuts with that.
Nuts.
How
They
many
went nuts
texts from
with
Jay
that.
Hare did you get about that?
I blocked Jay Hare
Oh, man.
Poor Jay
during
Hare.
basketball season.
I mean, I don't know
Did you
if I
get a few?
agree with the sit. I'm like, come on, guys. He's just.
But his point is he
preseason.
wants him to score at all 3 levels. He's
Yes.
got the green light. 16.7 boards, 5 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals in 19 minutes. That was Anthony Davis.
What he's doing in the preseason shooting threes is perfect, right? He's got 10 attempts. He's made 5.
Yeah.
Sometimes you shoot 3 a game, 2 a
What was
game.
my what the numbers is? 10. That he'll shoot at least 30% this season. Right on track.
You were weird in that what the numbers is game. You had a 5?
I was. There was a 5 about D'Lo. Guess
Yeah.
how about this? Alan Sliwa was on the show that day,
Yeah.
and he came up to
She
me
went like a
Friday
5
before
and
the
a 6,
game.
Brez. It was weird.
Shout out to
I
Alan. He
thought you
came up
hate
to me
fives.
before the game on Friday, and he goes, "Can I tell you how weird it is that I was really tracking LeBron's his picks?" And he goes, "I had to go back and look to see what his record was or whatever because of what the numbers is." I go, "How bad do you feel that you made me pick a 5 when it comes to D'Lo and the way
Yeah.
D'Lo is performing here in the preseason?
Yeah.
He could be the 3rd leading scorer on this team."
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah.
He could for sure.
I'd probably put Austin right now, but D'Lo, it's either Austin or D'Lo.
Yeah.
Who else are going to be?
Yeah.
And Anthony Davis, of course.
AD.
Shooting 50% from 3, as you mentioned. But, I mean, just in general, what's not to love about what we're seeing from AD right now in the preseason?
I think that, and I think I mentioned this in the post-game show, the look that he has, and I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly, but just the way he's carrying himself and the way he's going about his business and the way he's competing on the court just in the preseason, it's kind of a different AD, and it reminds me of the AD that showed up here in 2019 that had not yet won a title.
I like that.
And I think the ADs that we saw the next few years, maybe a little tired, for sure, after the title. He was always motivated, but it's just different when you lose in the Western Conference Finals. He's at that age now where, I mean, listen, he played pretty damn well for the last 3 months of that season. He stayed available. You know, whatever it is, getting beat 4-0, being mentioned in MVP races, whatever's driving him, you can tell that competitive side of him is burning. And that's what you want to see as a Laker fan. And it is right there in front of us. And it's very obvious if you're watching him play. Doesn't mean he's going to be perfect. Doesn't mean he's going to win the MVP. But Brez, he's dialed in, and that's great news.
Yeah, you wonder how much of this is coming from the contract extension. There was so much publicity when he signed on for 3 more years. He's going to make $60 million in some of those years, and a lot of the mostly national pundits, I know you love that word, Geet, weighed in and they said, okay, so AD's got to start, really taking control of this franchise, and he's got to start earning this money. It's not right away. He's still got 2 more years making good money, don't get me wrong, but he's under contract for a total of 5 years now, and the money gets really, 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 really good in the last few years. So I wonder if he's starting to hear this a little bit and saying, all right, maybe it is my time. I don't know if he defers to LeBron too much. I don't think that's an issue, but maybe he's hearing some of the people saying, you got to live up to the money and stay healthy and come to camp looking fit and put on some beef. And he's doing all of it. And I love how he obviously he's been working on this 3-point shot, Allie, because it's showing.
I'd be interested to ask Derek Fisher this question. And I'm sure Kobe went through this a little bit with Shaq as well. When you are on a team with the alpha and the guy, Shaq was the guy in the league when Kobe was the young guy coming up. And even though they were, 1A, 1B, if you want to say that, Shaq was getting the MVPs, but we all know Kobe was right there with him winning those titles. But it wasn't until, Shaq left when it became Kobe's kind of team, right? And on Kobe's teams later in his career when they were winning titles, Fish was the guy that could use his voice in the locker room. It probably takes a little time. I mean, Anthony Davis plays with LeBron James, who's literally the NBA's all-time leading scorer, who is as alpha as it gets in this league. He's the face of the league for literally 21 years. So it is LeBron going to have the ball. So you're automatically going to defer at times to him, but he does. So now maybe you're going into your fifth year together. You do start to, emerge, right? Just comfortable, confident, all that stuff. And LeBron's also, getting up there. So maybe that's part of it.
And LeBron's encouraging like a shifting, passing of the torch. He's like, yeah, take it. Take the keys. Drive the car. Go for it. Reminds me a little bit, Geet, of the Kobe-Powell relationship, because Kobe was such an alpha.
Yeah, that's great. That's
and Powell was acquired in a trade, and his was mid-season, unlike AD. And those two, they found harmony right away. 3 finals trips in a row. And I was also thinking about this the other day.
But you knew it was Kobe's had final say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Powell was, believe me, Powell was just happy to be out of Memphis and playing on a championship caliber team. I was trying to think about the optimism surrounding this training camp right now and preseason. And I'll go all the way back to after the Lakers lost to Boston in 2008 in the finals, going into that camp in fall of 2008, there was a lot of optimism. Everybody was like, okay, we just acquired Powell, 6 months ago. We did pretty well with him, got all the way to the finals. I feel like this year reminds me a lot of that year. Lakers came up short, but now everyone's back, full training camp, full preseason for everybody. And the optimism reminds me a lot of that 2008-09 season, which led to a championship that season. And then another one after that.
I remember Kareem's later years. Magic was Magic's team, but Kareem was still a focal point.
Right, that's a good point.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, and I also think, too, from both of your points in terms of the Powell-Kobe relationship, but also as long as LeBron is going to be in this league, he will be, to your point.
He's relevant.
He also, from a basketball standpoint, is someone who is so proven with the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
So this isn't us saying, AD, you need to go take the ball away from LeBron.
No.
This is recognizing the moment and just understanding.
AD is such a defensive anchor,
Mhm.
right? That's really where he could be the vocal leader, I think.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Oh, without question.
Yeah.
But I also think there is an aggressiveness on the offensive end that at times over the last couple of years we've seen be a little bit inconsistent,
For sure.
where what we saw down the stretch of the regular season last year into the postseason, and a large part of that was with LeBron off the floor when it came to the regular season, a will from Anthony Davis offensively that has to be consistently there at all times. And I think that there's probably no better time than right now. And I'm not saying this because LeBron is, but let's be honest with ourselves. And I think that's why, too, LeBron makes it very clear again by saying and being vocal that Anthony Davis, this is your franchise. However, it's not the first time LeBron has said that.
Yeah.
So I think what's the difference? And will we
Something-
actually see that?
I don't know. Yeah, something just, I don't know. Maybe it's probably a combination of all the things we're talking about. But I think losing in that Western Conference Finals, and you need to get another one.
Mm-hmm.
And really, the window is there to get a title. They were this close, right? You win that series, and next thing you know, you're in the finals. You have a shot.
And I would say this is the most talented team AD's ever been on, too.
Yeah,
Top to bottom. I mean, this is maybe he's feeling like, okay, we need to deliver. It's been quiet few years.
I don't think we knew going into 2019 season they would be that good until we saw about 10 to 20 games, and we're like, oh, because I remember everyone.
Was that the year they started 19?
Yeah, the Bill Simmons of the world and those guys were like, they're not going to make the playoffs. So all the experts were coming in and going, this team is terrible. And then all of a sudden you watch them play 10 to 15 games. You're like,
sorry,
no,
guys.
this team's really good.
Do you think it matters to a player when you hear your head coach or for Anthony Davis in this situation? Because I think what we all learned on media day was that he has heard, he has listened. He is no longer on social media. I actually just checked again, unless he's under an alias or a burner, but he has removed himself from social media. He heard everything from this summer. He listened. Do you think that, I mean, when you hear your head coach say that you're the heart and soul of the team, what that plays into?
It absolutely does. I mean, Phil Jackson was probably the best ever at it, and Brez could tell you 1,000 stories, but Phil was very good at planting things to the media because he knew people would hear. I'll never forget him. They were going on the Grammy road trip, and I'll never forget Phil saying, I mean, we're 4-2 at best. It's just the way it's going to go. And the guys heard that, and they went 6-0. They went 6-0. It was the year the 2000 year they won it. I remember that was the year that Portland and the Lakers were literally tied at the All-Star break. And they were by far the two best teams in the league. That's the year that it went 7, and you got the lob to Shaq as the first title they had. And that's Phil's first year as a coach. And Phil came out of the All-Star break, and the first game was a TNT game, national game, and it's Lakers-Portland. And Phil comes out in the pregame and says, the winner of this game will win the Western Conference.
Yeah.
Like have the number one seed. And everyone's like, dude, you're 50 games in.
Yeah.
And literally the Lakers won that game and ended up Portland went on a down spiral, climbed back up obviously to 2, but the Lakers ran away with it and won the West by like 6 games and won the number one seed.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was interesting that just
The psychology.
it was the psychology of it. So like Darvin Ham, bringing it back to AD, saying those things, he knows his guy's hearing it.
Knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. You want him to believe it.
Yeah.
You want him to hear it so many times where he believes it and he acts like it.
Yeah, and talking with players too, like been to a few games already. They see it too, on and off the record. They're like, yeah, this is gonna be a good year. Got to get him in for 70. I want 70 to 75 games out of him. I really do. And then you're really talking about
Man, Brez, if he can get to 70 games.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
I mean, I feel like would you guys sign up for 65 games right now? 68 games? That's only missing 14 games?
Yeah.
Sign up right now.
Yeah.
Right? Like that means he's healthy.
Yeah.
Right? 68 he's
I'm going to get greedy. I want a 7 in front of it. Just a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah. 72.
69.
All right. Almost 70.
69.
Nice.
Y'all are welcome, okay?
Nice.
All right. Speaking of, LeBron did not play in the game on Sunday against the Bucks. Speaking of games played, do you think this is a year that we will Possibly not. Maybe have his time a little bit more managed. He's already grandfathered into the new rule, so we're not, taking advantage of this. But
Yeah, just look at all the quality players around him.
think of the depth.
Yeah. This is like I said a minute ago, this is easily, in my mind, the most talented roster they've had in the last 5 years. Now, they don't have the veteranism, like with the Danny Green. Like, he was a nice pickup, and JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard in his second tour with the Lakers, the team that they won the championship with.
Rondo.
Yeah, Rondo, thank you. I mean, this team to me, though,
That's a good point.
this team has so much potential with young 20-something players that I'm really eager to see what they can do. And I was watching that game last night at the arena. I mean, Milwaukee had everyone, except for Middleton. No one knows when he's coming back.
Big freaking piece.
Yeah, it's a big piece. But then the Lakers didn't have.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Lakers didn't have LeBron or Austin Reeves or Gabe Vincent. It was competitive
Or
in that
Vando.
first half. Or Vando, thank you. Yeah, it was competitive in that first half, believe me. And it was the big unveiling of Lillard and Giannis together. Lakers were right there for it. I mean, without 4 really good pieces. So I was impressed.
Speaking of Jarred Vanderbilt, is there any concern? I mean, I know PR staff, they have mentioned that there is no concern about opening night for Vando. And I mean, for a guy who plays the way he does, to just be able to have this time.
Concern's not the word. Antsy.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Because I just
want
want
to
to
see
energy.
it.
Yeah.
and kind of want to see him out there and the improvement. And yeah, I think you're right. Like, he's not the guy that's going to have the ball in his hands for 40 minutes a game, and I'm really concerned.
Right.
But
He also does run around and
I don't like things lingering for sure, but I'm just more antsy to get him out there. I think.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned yet. Now, if he misses the first week, I don't know. I mean, go back to Dennis last year. All of a sudden, were we concerned? And then he's missing the first 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah, right.
So
we will not see him in the final preseason game. As the Lakers said, he won't be reevaluated until Friday. The last one is obviously on Thursday.
I think he'll be here for the opener. I have a good feeling about it.
We should get a good glimpse, though, at a regular season rotation.
Yeah.
3
Concur.
quarters on
Finally.
Thursday.
There we go.
Regular season rotation is what we will see.
get everyone about 23 minutes, 22,
Sounds
24
good.
minutes.
Yeah. Love it. Against the Suns. Lakeshow fans, remember, you can be a part of the show each week. Feel free to send us your questions and comments. We'd love to hear from you. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's around a bucket of break. Welcome back to Lakeshow Podcast, presented by Jack in the Box. If you're enjoying the show, you can check out more original podcasts from our Spectrum News journalists on the Spectrum News app. Just head to the podcast section to listen to the latest episodes. You can download the Spectrum News app on the App Store or Google Play. Time for a round of Bucket or Brick, presented by Jack in the Box. Let's listen to what D'Angelo Russell had to say about his improved defense so far this preseason.
This is a situation where you can kind of control your own destiny, and that's how I'm preparing for it. I'm not using preseason as preseason. I'm using it as the first few games of the season. So that's just my approach. If I look crazy doing it or picking up guys full court, diving and doing all that, that's what I want to be. My inspiration has been Derek White. I want to be Derek White. He doesn't get a lot of credit for what he does, makes all the winning plays, and that's who I want to be.
One, we love D'Lo, his approach, what we've been seeing, but this is for fun. This is the podcast just for fun. So having said that, bucket or brick, never compare yourself to a Celtic.
Bucket.
Yeah.
We had to.
I want you to be better than Derek White, okay?
Yes.
He already is. I mean, on offense anyway. Yeah, I bucket this too. And I can't blame D'Lo because he's never had like a playoff series against Boston. Did he even play a game against Boston after he got acquired by the Lakers back in February? I don't think so. He's a better offense player than Derek White anyway. I see what he's saying defensively, though.
Yeah. You love the approach for sure.
I see what he's saying, yeah.
All right, Jackson Hayes had a huge dunk and block against the Bucks. Bucket or brick, Jackson is currently the most athletic Laker.
Bucket.
Easy bucket.
I'm going to bucket that.
Yeah, I'm going through the roster right now. I think it's a bucket.
It's got spring,
Yeah.
length.
I think that is a bucket.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to make it like a race with someone else, but and by the way, he is so funny. Are you guys up to speed on the Austin Reeves hazing that went on after that game? It was kind of funny. So I asked Jackson pregame yesterday, hey man, do you want to say anything to Austin for blowing that beautiful lob opportunity Austin sent you, falling out of bounds from like half court, and Jackson went along with it. He's like, Austin, you look right in the camera. Austin, I'm really sorry.
That's because Austin looked in the camera on Friday and said you smoked it.
I know.
Smoked it.
And was it just me, or did Jackson Hayes flip him off during the game on Friday?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Did that happen?
I don't know.
When Austin was giving him beef right in the moment?
Yeah.
Oh, what did he do with his hands, though? Because I was like, wait a minute. Oh, I need to go back and look at that.
It seemed like he felt pretty bad about it. Like
it was hilarious.
In like
the
a
moment.
fun, good-natured way.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like there's animosity.
No. But it was funny because I thought they were going back and forth. And
Yeah,
so I was
they
like, what
hate
is he
each
doing
other.
with his fingers? What? Oh, that was fun. Okay, moving on. Got our first look at Dame and Giannis together. Bucket or brick, Dame and Giannis are the NBA's new toughest duo to defend.
Well, I know you guys want me to bucket this because you think I'm a closet Bucks fan. So I'll
You're
go
not
ahead and bucket
closet.
it.
You're
I'll
not a
go ahead and
closet. You
bucket
say it out loud.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like AD and LeBron, how different they are, except that's offense versus defense. This is just two really different, really gifted offensive players who, it was fun to watch. I mean, these guys, I'm telling you, they're going to score like 138 points a night. If Chris Middleton's healthy, got to get him out there if you're a Bucks fan. I don't know what's going on there, but they complement each other really well, Geet, on the offensive end.
Yeah, I think I'll bucket it.
Yeah.
Dame, Giannis. I mean, that's a tough cover right there.
I mean, Dame will make 5-6
I don't know.
every
Booker, KD,
Jokic, Murray,
Jokic, Murray.
KD, Booker,
night. Ooh, see, that could be good.
I mean,
Jalen, Jason,
nobody can guard Jokic and Murray.
Kyrie,
won a championship.
Luka,
No.
Paul George, Kawhi,
No.
In the
Jimmy,
conversation
Bam.
are Jokic and Murray because no one can stop them, obviously.
And the Suns guys, for me.
Booker and KD.
What do they look like?
Luka, Kyrie.
Oh, that was bad last year.
Braun, AD, where are they? Are they up there?
Someone
Are
said
Braun
Towns
and
Edwards, I
AD
started
up there? Because they are the only two to be in the top 10.
Yeah. But it's funny. People don't think of them as like two offensive guys who are completely different.
Yeah,
from each other.
I don't put them as the hardest to stop though.
No.
Maybe back in the day.
Yeah.
If AD starts shooting 6 threes and making 3 or 4 every night, now you're talking. It's
Okay.
not going to happen.
Victor Wembanyama put up 23 points Friday against the Heat, including a lefty dunk, a step back jumper, and 3 blocks. Bucket or brick, Wemby is a lock for Rookie of the Year. On BetMGM, Wemby is plus 125, Chet is plus 300, Scoot is plus 300, and Brandon Miller is 14-1.
I'm going to brick it. I'm going to go with Chet from OKC because they played each other about a week ago. It was pretty even. And people forget, Holmgren was drafted over a year ago, got hurt before the season started, so he still counts as a rookie, Geet. And there's going to be so much pressure on writers and broadcasters who vote for this award to give it to Wemby.
If you saw that minute and 42-second highlight that I saw, it's not even like close. I mean,
even
he's
close.
going to make the All-Star game. It's ridiculous. But there's always the reason why I don't think it's a lock if you've got any kind of injury. And Chet, like you mentioned, is right there. Scoot's going to have a shot at it too. But I just don't know what we're going to do with this. This is
It's his skills are crazy.
doing things no one's ever seen before.
Yeah.
So
What if OKC is like in play for like the 6th spot in the West?
they're going to be in play for the 6th spot.
And San Antonio's like 12th, 13th. Does that make it?
I don't think the rookie there matters.
that really doesn't matter for that
No one
award.
cares.
Because didn't
Yeah.
Paolo Banchero win it?
Yeah,
And they
know.
were
I mean,
terrible.
rookie
You're
year
right.
usually goes to awful team, but I don't know. I mean, Chet's not going to be. I think Chet's great, but he's not anywhere near the focal point of that. He's got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's going to. I mean,
Giddey.
those guys are ridiculous. So he's a part of it, and I think he's going to make him. He's going to have a better season in terms of wins than Wembanyama for sure. Like he's going to be. They're a playoff team. I just think Wembanyama, he's going to have all the stats, the ball.
all the hype.
What
too.
happened from summer league to preseason too? By the way, remember in summer league we were all like, and I understand it's different, but we were all like,
Oh, he's getting pushed around.
yeah. And now he's just like,
We'll see.
oh my.
But I don't know if, I mean, I think Scoot's going to have a say in it. Chet, they're all good, man. But I just, like, if he's going to play the whole year and play like that, it's going to be tough.
Scoot's going to have to be really good. That team at Portland,
Good call.
they blew it up. They're going to be like 14th or 15th in the West, right?
Yeah. Great
good
athlete, though.
Last one, WNBA Finals going on right now. Aces dominated the first 2 games,
Aces.
but the Liberty struck back at home to make it a 2-1 series. Plus, Aces point guard Chelsea Gray has injured her foot. So, bucket or brick, the Liberty are going to come back and win the WNBA Finals. Currently plus 350 on BetMGM.
I'm breaking
Go
this.
ahead,
I'm really mad at myself because about a month and a half ago, as you know, we all did lots of WNBA coverage for the Sparks. About a month and a half ago, maybe even longer, the Aces lost like 2 or 3 weird games to the Liberty. And they went from being a dominant favorite to win it all to slipping and slipping and slipping. And it was like a good price. I almost bet them at the time to win it all, and I didn't, and I wish I had. Because now it's a minus 450 for the Aces to win it all. And I think they will.
Oh.
I think they will. I'm just mad at myself. When you see a good bet and you pass it up, and then 2 months later, whatever it is, you realize, what was I doing?
So one more game in New York and then the game 5 in Vegas.
I think it's going 5. And it doesn't help them that Chelsea Gray's out, but
I'll go opposite of Brez. I'll brick it. I think New York stuns the world.
Wow.
Sabrina, Breanna Stewart.
Jonquel Jones
Yes, that's who I was thinking
playing
of.
like an MVP.
Yes,
That
she
she
is. They are going to come
Stewie,
back
fun
and
fact,
win.
Stewie has not lost a championship series
Thank you.
Wow.
in college. She is 6-0. In her 4 trips at UConn, she won all 4, and her 2 in the WNBA.
And Sabrina is engaged to a former Crespi football player, Grasu, who plays for the Raiders.
No
He's the oldest
way.
guy on the Raiders now. Yes, he went to Oregon as well. Obviously older than her. But so they got a little Crespi love in there.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm going with my old high school. I'm going with Sabrina.
Okay, so you're going New York, and you're going.
I'm going New York.
I'm going Vegas.
I'm going. Listen,
I
if
have that-
Candace was playing, I'm going Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not coming back, is she?
Plus 350. I'm in.
Yeah. That's
Speaking
a better,
of,
that's
did
a
you
better
see
value.
Kelsey Plum's husband drop that ball in the end zone
Yeah.
to win the game?
You know why I know this, Allie? Because he was on my fantasy team. There you go.
What was
Bergen in my
PI
ear.
or
That
what?
was a PI.
Yeah.
I mean, did you know Kelsey Plum's sister was an All-American setter for the University of Oregon and went to the national championship game, led Oregon to the finals, but lost to Texas in 2012? Did you know that stat?
Whoa.
No.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm a wealth of useless knowledge.
Yeah, that you are.
Impressive.
Oh, yeah, we're going to end on that one. Can we have a discussion, please? Can we talk?
Sure.
You know,
Monday Night Football starts soon.
okay, well, I'll give you a second. But first, do you know that you have access to the Lakers practice facility? Do you know that you have talked to LeBron James before? Do you know that LeBron does yoga with you? Do you know that LeBron knows who you are? So when he posts videos of his child playing volleyball, and you send it to me as if to get the job done to introduce him to you,
No,
you are the king of volleyball. Well,
But it's not like I have LeBron's info and be like, hey, let's talk volley.
at
But I will
practice,
guide him
I
and his
was-
beautiful daughter in volleyball.
I thought about you right away when he posted that clip of Zuri
What
playing
is she,
volleyball.
9? Her
10,
overhand
9,
serve
10?
at 9 is
Pretty darn good.
pretty darn good.
And I sat there and I was like, how do I sell Chris McGee to LeBron about volleyball? Where do I begin? And then I thought, oh, maybe he could do it
Yeah.
for himself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just be like,
Hook Zuri
LeBron,
up.
by the way, you know, Keeter, blah, blah, blah. His daughters play. He coached for a long time. He's ran a club.
You coached? We need to go to break and have a conversation. All right, thanks to
For
you.
29
Still
years.
does, right?
For
Like,
First
listening.
year
Finally
not
retired
doing it.
from coaching.
Oh,
Ever
I
in my
thought you
life.
meant for listening to Lakeshow podcast presented by Jack in the Box. See, this is why
Allie's
you can't
upset
ask
guest.
me to do it. If you like
Upset
what you
her
hear, leave
co-host.
us a rating and review on your favorite podcast app. I was going to say you played in the Olympics. We want to hear from you. Send us your questions. Hit us up on X at Allie Clifton, at Keeter3, at Mike_Bresnahan. Until next week.
You can't be a mediocre player and play in the Olympics.